Every morning the world starts quietly, one soft light at a time. Homes flicker awake, shops open. People take those first small steps into a brand new day. And in all of that ordinary movement, there's something kind of extraordinary. A moment worth noticing, a spark you feel before you even name it. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's small, but kindness shows up right on time. And every morning we choose to show up with you so we can look for that spark together.
Good morning. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and this is Kindness Rising. Let's rise together.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Kindness Rising, your morning dose of hope, humanity, and a little bit of heart with some humor layered on top, of course. And all this week, we continue our conversation about trust and about visibility, but layering that with balance and kindness and action and self-awareness and growth, all the strings that we bring here on Kindness Rising. Because most people don't trust perfect. Perfect feels distant, it feels managed, and it feels suspicious. Because everyone knows real life isn't perfect. Real work isn't perfect. Real growth definitely isn't perfect. And trust doesn't require perfection. Trust just requires a little bit of honesty. So welcome to Kindness Rising, where we start the day with less rage bait and more high fives for humanity. Thank you for joining me here on Kindness Rising. I want to ask you all a question. The question of the day for today. I hope you'll get involved right there in the chat. Come in, say hello, get involved. Don't forget, every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, I am here with Kindness Rising. The question of the day right now for you is, what do you trust more? What do you trust more? Do you like that polished stuff, or do you like it when someone comes here and brings their true, honest self? Unpolished, a little bit clunky at times, but that's okay. Here we are on Kindness Rising. Welcome in. 7:30 a.m. Eastern. We get up with hope, humanity, and high five. Start the day with less rage bait and more high five for humanity. Here's the comments. Renee Brzezinski, haven't seen and heard from you in a while. I hope you are doing well out there. Welcome in, Jerry Ginger. Yes, sir. I am glad you are here as well. Two great people getting involved. Renee's over on LinkedIn, Jerry on YouTube. Get involved. Say hello in the chat. Answer the question. What do you think? What do you think is better? Fully polished, all buttoned up, everything's sharp and perfect, or a little bit of loosey-goosey, a little bit of good morning, a little bit of good morning. Good morning, Roseanne. That's my mother out there in the chat. Say hello to her too. Which is better for you, perfection or honesty? A little bit of honesty. Doesn't mean we don't try to do things. My video is clunky, is actually perfect. Love that. I don't know what's going on here. I've got a little bit of, speaking of clunky, are you guys seeing me? Say hello in the chat if you can hear me, because my video is totally frozen on my end. I don't know. Say hello. Can anybody see or hear me? Here we go. We want to do the refresh. We want to do the what? You froze. Yeah, I sure did. If you can hear me, that's great. Oh, looks like I'm back. Well, see, that's what happens. That's what happens when you go live. Sometimes things just don't go exactly perfect, and that's okay. All right. Perfect for the thing. I know, Renee, you'd think like maybe I actually planned that, but I really didn't. I really, really, really didn't. I did not plan to do that right as I asked the question for people to get involved. Here's what I think. I think perfection feels like performance. And when you're in performance, yeah, you want to watch it, but there's a distance. There's a gap between the performer and the audience. But when you're real, when things aren't over scripted or over filtered or over controlled, that's when people start to connect, right? Because when you stumble, you show up consistently, people see effort and humanity and authenticity, and they see someone learning in real times. Jerry, you're saying this has been a trend in terms of lives? Huh. I did not know that. Maybe the pipeline is filling up with all sorts of people going live. I agree. Engagement. That's what I'm looking for. I appreciate the concept, the content. That's why I come here every day. I don't come here to polish myself up and show something that I'm not. This is me. I come here when I haven't shaven and have blisters on my lips. I mean, come on. Like, I don't care. I do care. I want to look nice, but it is what it is. Life is what it is. I get cold sores, the gift that keeps on giving every year. My screen is split. Yeah, my screen should be split with my question. I'll take my question off, and now the screen should be back. Now you got me filling up the screen. Yeah, thanks, Mom. I appreciate the production notes all the way from everyone. Absolutely. I'm trying new things, so we live and we learn. Absolutely. But here's the thing, I'm willing to be seen trying. I am. That is what my imperfection shows. So I hope that it helps somebody else to maybe try something. They're like, well, that guy could get up there looking like that and talking like that. Maybe I could get up and do something a little bit different, put myself out there. Or maybe it's just nice for me to connect with somebody in the morning like I do here at Kindness Rising. All right. Let's get a little bit more music going today. Let's try this one. It's not time for the best. All right. This one is our Be Kind Rewind. It's time for Be Kind Rewind. Yeah, no, actually, before social media, we didn't expect things to look perfect. Digital media has changed everything for us in terms of things looking perfect, right? But back, remember America's Funniest Home Videos? Anybody remember America's Funniest Home Videos? Why did that become popular? Because people recognize something familiar that real life rarely goes according to plan. Slipping on ice, birthday cakes falling apart, getting hit in special areas with your kid hitting a football bat. I don't know why that stuff interests me. I have always been interested in it. I love fail videos because I love watching people try and go, oh, fail. I love watching videos where people fail, and then finally succeed. There's something really satisfying in that out there when I'm scrolling, which I try to do a little less these days, but I find myself getting caught on those videos that show somebody just a repeated action over and over and over again until the final result. Absolutely. Because that feels relatable. Everybody has those imperfect moments, and it's really loud right now, but it's all right. Hey. All right. Okay. Yep. Imperfect moments, they sure do feel relatable, right? We all have quite a two of them. And there is an organization where you're going to switch our gears here to my favorite, the Spotlight Anthem. Wait for the drop. Here it comes. Something about that, just that moment tells me I am awake and going when I hear that moment in the song. But today I want to talk about someone, a group that you might know, you probably know out there. Perhaps they're not small, but they are really all about what we're talking about today. We're talking about StoryCorps. If you guys know StoryCorps, or if you don't, check them out. They build trust by documenting real conversations between real people, just like we do here at Mornings in the Lab Network, just like we do on Kindness Rising and Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. And it starts with joy with Cheryl Raphael Whitaker. And who am I missing? No Safe Words, Brianna Fast, BS or No BS, John Petrocelli. We are building and growing with people who are looking to not have to not be actors, to not perform, just to have some honest dialogue and demonstrate that imperfect expression carries more emotional impact than the polished messaging. The pauses, the emotion, the moments of uncertainty. How's he going to pull himself out of this one? Those moments, those are what create connection, because people recognize themselves. And that's what happens on StoryCorps. StoryCorps reminds us that people do not need perfect words. They just need honest ones. Yes, Renee. Love those stories. Absolutely. So glad you are out there leading our LinkedIn crew. If anybody else is out there on LinkedIn, come on in. Join. I am glad you're here. And my friends on YouTube, Roseanne and Sully, Mike Sullivan, out touch close, Jerry Ginger, always dropping kind and wise nuggets in the chat. Appreciate you guys who come around on the regular as we work our way towards 200. Teasing already. 200 Friday. 200 straight work days that I have shown up here on Kindness Rising. And I'm going to take some credit for that. Feel good about that. Also know that it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. I love to celebrate milestones. It helps me say, all right, we are making progress here. Things are changing. And I'm considering some changes starting for episodes 201, because that's what I do. I like to constantly change. Keep the good, throw away the bad, whatever. And I love it when you guys give me feedback about what you like. I was thinking about canceling the spotlight and just not doing away with it, and just doing away with it. And I get feedback from my people, from people who stuck around. What I asked, what do you like best about the show? I love when you highlight organizations. Oh, tell me more about what good stuff that's happening in the world and people doing good things. And I went, maybe we want to keep that spotlight, homie. So I did, absolutely. Thanks for sharing your interest and your time. All right. I talked all the way through the turn. The song started over. Unbelievable. That's all right. We got to hear the drop twice today. We'll call that the Spotlight Anthem drop. I don't know. Music, love music. I love when music meets the mood too, for sure. All right. I'm going to shift gears though. I'm going to shift gears to our kind of news story of the day. Try to keep up with things and talk about things that are congruent, are aligned with what we're trying to do here, the topics that we're talking about that are meaningful, that matter to our world here on Kindness Rising. And that includes the world of media and digital media and the changes that are happening in terms of the way that the world shares information and connects, just like we do here on Mornings in the Lab. And the AP, the Associated Press, They've recently announced a bunch more buyouts for journalists as they shift away from a business model primarily built around newspapers and more towards digital dialogue, fluid media, contemporary media. For most of modern history, remember, news was distributed, cranking out the printing press, Newsies, whatever. Those guys are out there on the corner selling the papers. Going to Santa Fe or wherever they went in Newsies. Whatever. Newspapers. Then came television. Then came radio. Always pushing it out. Distribution, push the channels. And gatekeepers, i.e., the networks, the producers, the broadcast channels, the FCC, all those regulatory, and they're important. They do serve important functions. I don't undermine that. But those gatekeepers, they determined what information reached the public, right? But today, that's not the way it works. We're consuming information from each other. We're learning from voices, individual voices, rather than institutions. Experts, operators, builders, educators, creators. Everybody's got a chance to have their voice now, and what you pick in terms of which voices that you listen to, you participate with, or what voice you put out there, right? That's what's making a difference in the landscape of media today. We are witnessing that shift from the institution first media to conversation media. And that's what we're doing on Kindness Rising, trying to get a little bit of conversation going, getting it going in the chat, getting it going through guest appearances, getting it going through our connections across the network. Absolutely. Not so much here on Kindness Rising as on some of our other programs. I hope you will go and check them out. There is a whole nother world out there that Mornings in the Lab is building at Mittel.network. New shows coming on board, new ideas, people stepping up, putting themselves out there, trusting us at the Mornings in the Lab studio to help them to bring their most authentic and personal selves to the world. Because that's what it's all about today, right? We're moving out of that actually pure attention economy. People are tired of that. The 30-second short clips and the 10-second dances and the blasting us in the face, and moving to a more authentic. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. It's there if you want to choose to do it, if you want to choose to participate in the conversation on Mornings in the Lab, on Kindness Rising, and in the world as we get moving and developing our ecosystem, our universe. And the exciting part of what we're doing, another exciting part, I should say, at the Mornings in the Lab studio is blurring that line between human and AI a little bit, letting people bring their best self and be supported by the tools that are out there. Being able to use those tools to tell a better story, to have more interactive conversation, and to blur those lines and capture not just attention, but engagement and involvement. That's what we're doing at the Mornings in the Lab studio. If you want to know more about it, let me know. I'd be glad to give you a demo of what we're doing behind the scenes and show you exactly what's up. But your first best bet is to go to Mittel.network or mornings.network and check out the whole network and see exactly what we're doing. The best way to understand it is to experience it, for sure. All right. So the AP makes a bunch of cuts, and now it's like, okay, where's my news gonna be coming from? Right? How am I gonna find a trusted news? Those institutions are breaking down? Well, the Trust Accelerator is exactly what we're doing here. We're making it live. We're bringing through signal rather than noise, conversation rather than broadcast. That is how we're bringing our imperfect selves to the world today. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. That's what I wanted to encourage you to do, because every day we don't just yak about what I don't just yak about what's important on my mind. I do try to give some real, actionable, proven ways to try to help to uh, embody the concepts that we're talking about here. And today we are talking about building trust through imperfection. Building trust through imperfection. Here are 3 ways to build trust through imperfection. Admit when you don't know or when you're wrong. Honesty builds credibility fast, and confidence says, I am learning. Absolutely. Be curious. Ask those thoughtful questions, because curiosity shows respect, and people trust those who want to understand what they're all about. And lastly, build in public. Show your process live, because consistency will reveal your character and visibility will build your confidence. People don't expect perfection, but they do want and trust honesty, curiosity, and effort. Those are your 3 proven ways to build trust through imperfection. Thank you again. Thanks for joining here on Kindness Rising. I appreciate every single one of you that comes here and spends a little bit of time. Say hello in the chat, get involved, answer the questions. Let's see, I got another question for y'all. Did I already ask that question? I already asked that question. Boom. Something happened. Okay. Well, again, we live and learn. Somehow both of my questions are in my studio as the same question. Wah, 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 wah. I already asked you, what builds more trust? What do we think as we've listened and we've thought about it over the day today? The morning. Oops. Trying to find my other question, but I don't need another question. What question do I need? Threw me all off. So I'll tell you that. Okay, you're watching it happen. There it is. How could that not be more real? Right? Imperfection. Imperfection. But I'm taking action. I'm taking action, and imperfect action. Even if it's imperfect, action is what creates momentum. Absolutely. And that's what I'm doing. Building momentum every single day, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, getting started on the mornings in the lab network with you, getting up, rising with a little bit of hope, a little bit of humor along the way, a little bit of uh, heart, a little bit of connection as we get started in our day. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're getting up on the right side of the bed, starting our day with less rage bait and more high fives for humanity. God knows there's lots of things to be rageful about today, or to be confused about, or to be concerned or worried or anxious. It's very easy to get tapped into that stream, the stream of never ending change and feeling of no control, or not knowing what you're going to see each time you engage in the world, right? But what I know you can do is I know you can create a ripple of kindness locally, focus on where you are at personally, and make those little changes. It doesn't take much, just a little bit of action to raise the kindness level, to bring down the tension level. Doesn't mean we don't have debate. It doesn't mean what we do isn't important. It doesn't mean what we do isn't serious. and the thoughts and the decisions that we make. It just means it can be a little bit softer, a little bit chiller, more chill, a little bit more chiller. I don't know. But that's the point of kindness rising, is just to get us up and get our brain thinking in the right way. Building confidence to start our day, staying consistent to build trust with our audience, with each other. That's really what we're talking about, is each other out there in kindness rising land. Absolutely. And remembering that people rarely trust someone that appears flawless. It's really, really hard, especially in today's world when more people appear, right? Remember when we would watch the news or watch somebody, a performer back in the whatever day before this world, and they would do something actually human, something human would happen. We'd all be like, "Wait, what? What?" And those were the moments that we remember, those moments of connection when people break character, so to speak. Not just in like the Saturday Night Live. It's funny when they break character because they can't keep their composure. But when moments of reality sneak through, isn't that when we feel most connected to the people? Whether it's a priest standing on a pulpit or a politician giving a speech or a newscaster or whatever in the old media, the push media. What did we like best? What got the most headlines? The most headlines is when people go off script. Most headlines, the most connection is when people show their humanness, their flaws. Not flaws in like the fatal flaw or their bad judgment flaws, but that they're human. They're human. And that's what we're doing here on Kindness Rising and the Mornings in the Lab Network, across the entire Mornings in the Lab Network. You see a lot of humanity when you watch our content, and both imperfect humanity and imperfect creativity and AI generation with our character worlds that we're building, the world that we're building. Come check it out. And we know it's only going to improve and it's only going to get better over time, but we're starting now with the integration of realities, of mixed reality. You personally standing out, this is where it gets a little heady, right? You personally standing out when you go live, but then interacting with characters that have their own personalities, have their own flaws, in order to build trust across media. Anyway, that's Tuesday. Welcome and goodbye at the same time. Welcome to everybody. I appreciate. Just thank you so much for anyone who spent a little bit of time and is still hanging out there with me as I wind down on this episode of Kindness Rising. Absolutely. Just remember this: imperfect action is going to signal honesty, and honesty takes courage, but courage, I'm getting myself twisted into a logic here. Courage is a key to leadership. So what I'm trying to say is you don't have to appear perfect. You have to be courageous and appear committed. And that's what we do every day here on Kindness Rising, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. That's what they do over at Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, starting right now at 8 o'clock on that channel. So come on back tomorrow morning. We'll continue the conversation, maybe get into some new stuff for sure. I will be bringing my imperfect self for sure. But until then, stay uncommon and stay kind. What if your mornings could be inspiring and ridiculously fun.
Kindness Rising isn't just a show, it's a full wake-up vibe.
It's freaking fun, people.
Yeah, man, it's got real get-after-it energy.
I love it.
Wake up with Kindness Rising.
I help purpose-driven people grow their impact. 5-ingredient recipe to help you build your personal brand. Get out there and take kind action.
If it's live, they'll feel it.
On Kindness Rising, we bring you proven strategies and fresh ideas you can actually use. If you're not failing, you're not trying.
Exactly. Fail fast, rebound faster.
You'll see the bloopers and the genuine connections that make kindness contagious. We sometimes get into a little bit of trouble.
Pretty much my life made the list.
You can trust what you see right here is honest, respectful, and uplifting. Social impact organizations, and we always talk about them. Try kindness. It's way cheaper than therapy. You just made my day.